China is a nation of extremes, where breathtaking advancements in technology and infrastructure coexist with deeply rooted traditions and complex societal challenges. Often portrayed as a land of glittering skylines and boundless innovation, the lesser-seen side of China reveals a tapestry of darker realities. Beneath the polished image lies a world grappling with tensions between rapid modernization, cultural preservation, and personal freedoms. In this video, we'll unveil the 10 most surprising and controversial aspects of life in China, some of which will leave you astounded. From the intense pressures women face in society to the profound environmental struggles of urban life, these stories are a window into a side of China rarely discussed. Stay with us until the end. One of the final revelations might completely change your perspective on this global powerhouse. Welcome to World Marvels, where we dive into the fascinating and unexpected corners of the world. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now let's begin. 10. Women's role in modern China. Women in China often navigate a delicate balance between traditional expectations and modern ambitions. The term "shengnu," or leftover women, is used to describe women over 27 who remain unmarried, a concept that reflects the deep societal pressure to conform to marriage norms. This stigma places young women in a difficult position, torn between pursuing education and careers and fulfilling familial expectations. In urban hubs like Shanghai and Beijing, marriage markets are a weekly event. Parents gather in parks, armed with handwritten profiles of their adult children, hoping to arrange suitable matches. These profiles highlight education, income, and even astrological compatibility, turning the search for love into a highly strategic affair. For younger women, however, this tradition can feel invasive and outdated, clashing with their desire for independence and self-determination. As more women embrace higher education and professional careers, the generational divide becomes increasingly evident. The evolution of gender roles in China reflects broader societal shifts, where tradition and modernity are often at odds, creating unique challenges for the women navigating these expectations. 9. The grueling 996 work culture. In China's booming tech and entrepreneurial sectors, the 996 work schedule has become notorious. Workers are expected to be on the clock from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, a grueling regimen promoted by some of the country's most prominent companies. Advocates argue that this intense schedule fosters productivity and innovation, but for employees, it often results in burnout, health issues, and strained personal relationships. Despite being labeled illegal by the Chinese Supreme Court in 2019, the 996 culture remains deeply ingrained. Many workers feel pressured to comply due to unspoken expectations, fearing that refusal could jeopardize their careers. Stories of employees collapsing at their desks or suffering severe health consequences have drawn widespread attention, sparking a national conversation about the human cost of economic progress. This culture underscores the tension between China's rapid economic ascent and the well-being of its workforce. As discussions about labor reform continue, the persistence of 996 raises critical questions about the price of success in one of the world's largest economies. 8. Food safety and counterfeit products. Food safety scandals have cast a shadow over China's reputation in global markets. Incidents of counterfeit or adulterated food products have repeatedly come to light, sparking concerns both domestically and internationally. One of the most infamous examples is synthetic rice, a mix of potatoes, sweet potatoes, and plastic resin sold as real grain. Consumers who unknowingly eat these products risk long-term health complications. Other alarming cases include chemically treated pork disguised as beef and even imitation eggs made from a mix of resin and gelatin. These fraudulent practices thrive in small factories with minimal oversight, where profit often takes precedence over safety. Despite efforts by the Chinese government to crack down on these operations, enforcement remains inconsistent, particularly in rural and less developed regions. The consequences of these scandals are far-reaching, damaging the trust in Chinese goods and prompting calls for stricter regulation. While progress has been made, the ongoing challenges reflect the difficulties of maintaining quality control in a nation as vast and fast-growing as China. 7. Surveillance and the social credit system. China's advancements in technology have created a surveillance network of unprecedented scale, central to which is the social credit system. This system assigns individuals, businesses, and organizations a score based on their behavior. Actions like timely loan payments or participating in community activities can boost scores, while offenses like jaywalking or criticizing the government can result in penalties. A high social credit score offers benefits such as access to loans, better housing opportunities, and even priority at schools for one's children. However, those with lower scores face significant restrictions, including bans on travel, limited job prospects, and public shaming. The system is supported by an extensive network of surveillance cameras, estimated to number over 600 million, making privacy nearly non-existent. While the Chinese government touts the social credit system as a way to foster trust and harmony, critics argue it stifles individual freedoms and enforces conformity. The system's implications extend beyond its borders, raising concerns about how similar technologies might be used by other nations. 6. Environmental challenges and urban overcrowding. China's rapid urbanization has come with significant environmental and social costs. Cities like Beijing and Shanghai, once symbols of modernity and growth, now face severe environmental degradation and transportation struggles. Air pollution remains a persistent problem, with smoggy days dominating the skyline and posing serious health risks. The reliance on coal-powered plants and the rise in vehicle emissions have worsened the situation, making clean air a rare luxury. Beijing's geographic location exacerbates the problem. Surrounded by mountains, the city acts as a trap for pollutants, leading to poor air quality and reduced visibility. Residents often rely on masks to protect themselves from the hazardous particles in the air. In extreme cases, schools are closed, and vulnerable populations are advised to stay indoors. Beyond air quality, overcrowding on public transport is another challenge. Trains, buses, and subways are frequently packed beyond capacity, making daily commutes exhausting for millions. Despite efforts to expand infrastructure and promote green energy, the pace of urban growth continues to outstrip the measures in place. The situation underscores the broader tension between China's ambition for rapid development and the environmental and social consequences that follow. 5. The hukou system and inequality. The hukou system, introduced in the 1950s, was designed to manage population distribution and allocate resources efficiently. However, in modern China, it has become a symbol of inequality. The system categorizes citizens as either rural or urban residents, determining their access to services like education, healthcare, and housing based on their registration status. For rural migrants moving to cities in search of better opportunities, the hukou system creates significant challenges. Without urban hukou status, they are excluded from many public services, forcing them to live on the fringes of society. These migrants often take up low-paying jobs and live in overcrowded housing, despite being essential to urban economies. The impact on families is particularly severe. Migrant children are frequently denied access to quality education in the cities, forcing parents to leave them behind in rural areas or accept substandard schooling options. This perpetuates a cycle of poverty and limits upward mobility for millions of people. While the Chinese government has introduced reforms aimed at reducing the divide, the hukou system remains a major barrier to social equity. It highlights the challenges of managing a population as vast and mobile as China's, especially in the context of rapid urbanization. For urbanization and ghost cities, China's rapid urban expansion has resulted in an unexpected phenomenon. Ghost cities, vast urban developments that remain largely uninhabited. Built during the country's real estate boom, these areas were intended to house millions of residents, but a mismatch between supply and demand left them eerily empty. Rows of towering apartment buildings, sprawling malls, and intricate road networks stand unused, creating surreal, deserted landscapes. The existence of ghost cities highlights deeper issues within China's economy. Developers built these areas on the assumption of continued economic growth and urban migration, but soaring property prices deterred many potential buyers. For middle-class families, these properties remain out of reach, while rural migrants who could benefit from the housing are often excluded due to the hukou system. Financially, These developments have put strain on both local governments and real estate companies. Firms like Evergrande have faced massive debt crises, threatening the stability of China's entire economy. Ghost cities serve as a stark reminder of the risks associated with unchecked speculation and rapid urbanization. They stand as a symbol of both China's ambitions and the challenges it faces in achieving sustainable development. 2. Urbanization and poverty in Chongqing. Chongqing, one of China's largest and fastest-growing cities, is a striking example of the complexities of urbanization. Known for its stunning skyline and steep streets, the city attracts millions of rural migrants seeking economic opportunities. However, this rapid growth has also deepened the divide between the wealthy urban elite and the struggling working class. In the poorer areas of Chongqing, workers live in overcrowded housing with minimal privacy. Some apartments rent for as little as $40 per month, but the conditions are often substandard. Migrants take on physically demanding jobs, such as carrying goods up the city's steep staircases or working in factories, earning just enough to cover basic living expenses. Many send a portion of their income back to their families in rural areas, creating a cycle of sacrifice and limited personal advancement. To address these challenges, Chongqing has implemented large-scale urban planning initiatives, such as the development of satellite cities and low-cost housing projects. However, the results have been mixed. While these measures aim to integrate rural migrants into urban life, the scale of inequality remains daunting. Chongqing's story reflects a broader issue across China: the challenge of balancing urban growth with social equity. 1. Cultural and religious restrictions. China's policies toward cultural and religious practices have sparked significant international controversy. Regions like Xinjiang and Tibet are at the center of these debates, as the government imposes strict controls on minority groups in the name of national unity. Critics argue that these measures erode the cultural identity and freedoms of these communities. In Xinjiang, the Uyghur population, a predominantly Muslim ethnic minority, has faced allegations of forced assimilation. Reports suggest that millions of Uyghurs have been detained in re-education centers, where they are subjected to ideological indoctrination. Surveillance in the region is also extensive, with advanced technology tracking every aspect of daily life. Similarly, in Tibet, government policies have restricted religious practices and promoted the use of Mandarin over the Tibetan language in schools. Monasteries are tightly monitored, and religious leaders are appointed by the state, undermining traditional Tibetan cultural autonomy. While the Chinese government defends these policies as necessary for stability, human rights organizations have called for greater accountability. The suppression of cultural and religious freedoms raises critical questions about the balance between unity and diversity in a nation as vast and complex as China. China's rise as a global powerhouse is as complex as it is remarkable. Beneath its gleaming skylines and technological advancements lie deep societal challenges and stark contrasts. From the pressures of 996 work culture to the struggles of rural migrants in cities like Chongqing, and from ghost cities to the restrictions on cultural freedoms, these issues reflect the cost of China's meteoric ascent. What aspect of modern China surprised you the most? Do you believe these challenges will shape the nation's future, or will they be resolved as China continues to evolve? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to World Marvels for more deep dives into fascinating topics from around the world. Your support helps us bring you the stories that matter. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Stay curious and take care.